Hey, what's up, everybody? BDR44 coming at you with another video. All right, so it's been reported that D'Angelo Russell is likely to opt out of his $18.7 million option, try to test free agency to see if he can get more, or just to get out of LA, maybe even take less to get the heck away from Darvin Ham if the Lakers aren't going to fire him. To be honest with you, I don't know if this story comes from D'Lo. That's my question. Or is it someone who wants to try, by way of pressure, releasing false information to the media about his intentions, force him in a certain direction? Do the Lakers prefer he not pick up his option? To me, it seems a little tricky because, to be honest with you, if he does pick up his option, in theory, depending on if the provisions will allow it, he should be able to be traded, which would make him an asset to the Lakers. But maybe not at $18 million. Maybe you find out that he's only worth $7 million to the market. Now you can't move him, which makes me wonder who actually released this information, because it doesn't seem like it would be in his best interest a game before the playoff exit, in theory, because the Lakers likely will be swept, to release information on him opting out when, all things considered, the market probably isn't going to be all that favorable to him, given the fact the last time we saw him, he didn't make a single shot. So to me, if I'm D'Lo, I'm not really sure if I'm ready to make that decision at all, given the fact how I just looked, because at the end of the day, it should be about the most money you can get. Now, at the end of the day, they can release this information and he can still opt in, because at the end of the day, it's his option. But you could put pressure on somebody to make them think that maybe it would be in their best interest to do something, if by way of public opinion. And if they think he's that weak, whoever would think he's that weak may want to release this information, whether it's false or not, to try to put that pressure on him to opt out. That seems likely to me. People use the media a lot of times in sports to try to get things done that probably should otherwise be up to them to do. And you put a little pressure on somebody, hey, he's opting out. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Like, what do you mean? Try to take the mental edge on the situation. But that's a long shot even in itself, because at the end of the day, it's his option. So if the man wants to opt in, a million people could tell the media a million different times that he's opting out, and again, he could still just opt in. So in my mind, this is kind of like a desperate attempt to probably try to get in his head to say, yo, we want you on. I'm guessing this is coming from the Lakers. We want you to opt out because we don't think you're worth $18 million. And we probably ain't going to be able to trade you. You know, it's kind of like, because that's what the Lakers do a lot of the time. They try to use the media, try to push their own narrative upon whatever it is that they would prefer. Whatever their will would be, if they don't have the option, they'll use the media to force that process. Seems a little bit of a Hail Mary to me, but I've seen stranger, to be honest with you, I've seen stranger things happen. So it's possible. It's possible that's what it is. Or the more conventional thing, D'Lo really is trying to opt out. And see, this is one of them situations where another variable in regards to releasing the information, if you're the Lakers and you want him to opt out, is to make him look incompetent. Because if you look at what he would otherwise be looking at, I just played poorly, I'm probably not going to get more than half of that on the market. It makes no sense for me to opt out. But if I want to make somebody look stupid enough to do something that doesn't look conventional to anybody else, so that they will test the market and the market will tell them that it's no good, maybe I can sway the narrative on his intellect to make him look even more stupid than I want, than he probably would otherwise be. And I make him look as dumb as possible to say, yo, look at him. He wants to opt out at $18 million when he knows damn well he's probably not going to get but 9 out there. So it's a lot of different things that make me think that he and his team probably didn't release this at all, that the information is probably false. My spidey senses tell me that D'Angelo Russell doesn't expect he's going to get more than $18 million on the market this upcoming season, especially after going 0-4 in the previous playoff game. That's not when you tell people what your intentions are in free agency. That's when people who want you to do a certain thing tell the media what they want you to do, essentially lying on you. That's when that happens. And if I'm the Lakers, I don't want him back at $18 million. So whatever little buttons I could press to try to insinuate that he's made a decision that makes him either look incompetent or makes it look as if maybe he would want to do this to put pressure on him to maybe do it for those who are looking forward to him doing that, sway the market a certain way to be more favorable to me, since I'll likely have to have him at $18 million on my contract on the books if he opts in. Maybe that's what's going on there. So that's what I think. I really think that somebody on the Lakers side of things, or an opposing team that knows the Lakers don't want him at $18 million, probably wants to see him in a squirm-like situation. Try to throw some confusion, a monkey wrench into his free agency right after him playing poorly. That's what I think it is, man. That's what I think it is. I don't think nothing about what just happened with D'Angelo Russell tells me he should be making a decision on his free agency at this moment. Even if he wants to be overly emotional about how he feels he's been treated, it would be utterly brain dead of him to be telling people that he's going to opt out after playing bad. That's utterly brain dead. If anything, he should have made the decision to opt in. That's the only logical thing. So that's why I tell people to use their own brains. You got to be a unique, independent thinker when it comes to stuff like this. Because a lot of times the media really does send you the opposite information of what actually makes sense. And it's probably because to make people look stupid, to be honest with you. To make people look incompetent and to manipulate the free agency upon when it comes about. That makes more sense to me than him actually opting in. Or opting out, rather. He ain't gonna get $18 million in this market. He know that. And leaving Los Angeles is not something that he probably really would prefer to do. Especially if it looks like they're gonna probably fire the coach any damn way. What's the point of doing that? If the Lakers are gonna fire the coach any damn way, then you're going to have a better role on the team that you're going to be on. If the Lakers are going to trade you anyway, then it makes more sense to secure the $18 million if you're going to find yourself on some random team any damn way. It ain't going to be a team that you likely want to be on that offers you anything after playing as poorly as he did in these playoffs. And last year's playoffs. And the year before that's playoffs. It ain't going to be a playoff team that wants to give him anything. You see what I'm saying? So it's like nothing about that actually makes sense if you can think for yourself. Other than he's off of a pill and just doing stupid stuff that is opposite of what makes sense. For which I'm not inclined to believe. I'm not inclined to believe that. But this is what happens. This is what happens when you play poorly and then you allow people to see you on your phone after doing so. You see what I'm saying? You create the environment for people to try to manipulate your intelligence. It's the God's honest truth. If you're in the huddle, showing yourself to be someone that's focused and all in, even though you didn't play well and ready for game 4, I'm almost positive this doesn't get released. Somebody saw a weak point in his psyche in that moment and said, yo, this is when we release some opposite information that makes him look absolutely insane. That's why I tell you, man, body language matters, bro, because it's a lot of games being played around the athlete. A lot of games being played around the athlete. It's a lot of people who have conflicting interests. They want that $18 million to go somewhere else. It may not even be the Lakers. It might be somebody else, some other third party that wants that $18 million to go to their player. So they release some bull crap to the media talking about D'Angelo's interests. It's a lot of stuff you got to guard against. That's why body language is so important, as well as for the sake of the basketball game, because you got to understand that there are games being played around you. You may not even know those games are being played. You may not even know the rules to those games, but those games are being played around you. People always trying to move millions of dollars. Bro, see the things that people do for $1,000. So you know when it's millions of dollars in play, it's going to be a lot of funky stuff happening. $18 million got to move a certain way? Yeah, it's going to be some funky stuff happening. So that's why I would tell a guy like D'Angelo Russell, you got to be sharp, man. Be on your P's and Q's at all times, especially after you play poorly. Because they probably trying to back him into a mistake. Try to get him to get on his platform and go crazy over his free agency. No, I'm not. I'm not opting out. I'm opting in. And then they know what he's going to do. that type of stuff. Try to smoke him out by releasing false information upon his intentions. You gotta be careful with people, man. You never know what people want to do, man. Who knows? That's why I tell players, just be on your toes. Be on your P's and Q's and your Q's and P's. Because when it really comes down to it, it's a lot of people want to do a lot of things around you that ain't got nothing to do with what you want done for yourself. And they'll have you playing in China for $1 million after they done messing with you. And that's why I tell a guy like D'Angelo Russell, if you do want to opt out, it ain't time to be telling nobody. I tell you that. In fact, it's the opposite of that. It's the absolute opposite of that. Which is why I don't think he did it. So that's pretty much what I got to say about that. I'm sure I got more to say about this team, but that's what I got. Encourage everybody to check out my chat this morning. I got a little wordy with it, about 41 minutes of conversation, but I wasn't ranting. I'm in off-season mode. And so what I hope D'Angelo Russell does is gauge his free agency properly. For his sake, come out and hit 9 threes in the next game. To be honest with you, don't miss a damn shot in the next one. He has like 15 assists. And see, that's why I know his focus isn't where it needs to be, because when he's shot poorly this season, he's contributed in other areas to make his stats make sense. He had like 3 assists in the last 2 games he played poorly. That's not the D-Lo that he's become in the regular season. There's something he has to overcome mentally in the postseason. That's what it is. And until he believes he's worthy of playing well in the postseason, he's going to will himself to playing poorly in the postseason. And I've been saying that. It's the same thing I said about him speaking on his phone yesterday. Until he believes that he deserves to be seen as a responsible all-in basketball player, he going to will himself toward looking crazy, looking at his phone, eating food and stuff like that. A lot of times, those are self-destructive things. Maybe could speak to the validity of this story, given the fact that what I'm trying to make is the point that he's trying to be a bit on the self-destructive side. You gotta show yourself to be a professional, man. You don't want people thinking that you're losing it when it matters most, especially if these are things within your control. So maybe they put Watson on you, maybe they put big defenders on you and try to take you out the game. But your focus still got to be on your money, if nothing else. You still got to still be on your image, if nothing else. And so these are things that I think D'Angelo can control. And I don't know. I just think they saw an opportunity, whoever they are. May have saw a weakness point there. So let's lie on him. See if we can smoke him out or force him into doing what we want him to do, or make the market think he's crazy or something. Anything like that. So yeah, that's my point of view on this situation, man. I don't think D'Angelo said anything about his free agency. I really don't. I'd be very surprised if he told anybody what his intentions were last night after playing poorly. Don't think so. Video 44. I'll thank y'all for watching. I'm out.